Hi kids, I'm Storytime Pup, and welcome to the Storytime Pup Show. I'm so glad you came by to play. I love when my friends come by to play, and you're one of my friends. Are you ready to have fun? Let's see what we're going to do today. Magic marker, show us what we're going to do today. Yay! It's Storybook time! We love Storybook time! Well, hi kids, and thanks for stopping by for today's book. Today's book is Mountain Mouse Makes a Difference. And it's written and illustrated by Caryl, Lynne, Honea. Are you ready? Okay, let's get started with today's book. Hello! I am so glad you can join me today. My name is Mountain Mouse. I live in the Great Smoky Mountains at the top of Conley Mountain. I love to learn, and I like to make sure that everything I do, I enjoy as an adventure. Come join me as I learn that even one tiny mouse like me can make a difference. I am sure that when we are done, you will think of things that you can do to make a difference also. It was a beautiful day in the Great Smoky Mountains. It was the 4th of July, so Mr. Mouse and Mountain Mouse went into town to celebrate Independence Day. They saw lots of people, flags, and decorations. Everyone was enjoying the special holiday. As they returned home at the end of the day, Mountain Mouse was thinking about everything she saw in town. Along with all the fun things Mountain Mouse saw during the day, there were several that made her sad. As they watched the parade and walked through town, they passed a homeless man sitting against a building with a sign. The sign read, "Will work for food." Some people walked by, dropping coins in a cup by the man, but most people just walked by. After the parade, everyone visited the shops and booths set up in town. Mountain Mouse saw a mother and a young boy near a booth selling cookies and cakes. The boy asked his mother to buy a cookie for him to eat. His mother replied, "No, son, I don't have any money for a cookie today. We don't even have money for us to buy food to eat at home until I find a job." Then, when Mrs. Mouse and Mountain Mouse were walking out of town to head home, she remembered seeing an elderly woman sitting alone on her porch. Mountain Mouse noticed her house and yard was run down, overgrown, and needing repair. The street was busy with people, but no one stopped by to say hello or talk. Sadly, the woman was not seen or cared for. Mountain Mouse was sad that there were people without homes, jobs, food, or people to help them. She was sad these people were just not noticed by so many. As she sat and watched the July 4th fireworks, she was thankful to have a home and food for her family. She was happy knowing family and friends would help her if needed. But she still felt sad and helpless. How could she, one little mouse, make a difference? The next day, she was working in her garden when Mr. Snail came by for a chat. They each shared how nice the holiday weekend had been. While they gathered food from the garden, Mountain Mouse told Mr. Snail about the young mother who couldn't buy a cookie for her son. She said, "Mr. Snail, that made me sad because I have no idea what I can do to help." Mr. Snail said, "There are lots of things you can do to help. Donate food to a food bank, regularly stock the local blessing box, or even take a meal to a family in need." Mountain Mouse agreed. Those are all great ideas. Maybe she could make a difference. That night, Mountain Mouse had dinner with friends, and then they had fun playing board games. While they played, Mountain Mouse shared the story of seeing the lonely elderly woman over the weekend. She told her friends how that made her feel sad, but she didn't know what she could do as only one little mouse. Her friends encouraged her and said that there were things that she could do. Mrs. Chipmunk shared how her family helps an older couple in town by tending quietly to their yard at night. Miss Rabbit shared that she wrote cards for a home for the elderly to make them smile. After hearing these ideas, Mountain Mouse thought, maybe I can find something to do that can make a difference. The next day, Mountain Mouse was up early and scurrying to gather things for her trip into town. She was going to visit her friend who lived by the bakery. But before she went, she took time to write a quick note, gather some fresh flowers and vegetables, and grab a few cans of food from the pantry. There was a blessing box by a church that she passed going into town. This was a box available for anyone who needed food or other helpful items, but did not have the means to buy things on their own. Others in town who had extra items would put items in the box to help their neighbors in need. Mountain Mouse took a moment to add a few items she had extras of in her pantry. She hoped those items would be helpful to others. As she traveled to her friend's house, she first stopped at the home of the elderly woman. The woman was not yet out on her porch, so Mountain Mouse quietly went up. She quickly swept the porch to tidy it up, and then she put the flowers with her note on a table beside the woman's porch rocker. Mountain Mouse's next stop was the house where she saw the young boy from the other day playing in the backyard. Again, she quietly went up on the front porch to leave a bag of fresh veggies. But before she could leave, the front door opened. Mountain Mouse quickly hid behind a plant, but was blessed to hear the young mother exclaim, "Oh my! What a blessing! Somebody has been so kind to leave us some food!" Mountain Mouse smiled as she watched the woman excitedly carry the food into the house. Mountain Mouse was still excited when she arrived at her friend's home for tea and lunch. Mountain Mouse shared what she saw over the weekend and what she did as she came to town for her visit. Her friend listened carefully and then excitedly said, "Mountain Mouse, I have an idea. I think we can help both the man you saw this weekend who was willing to work for food and help my friend the baker." Her friend told Mountain Mouse she had heard the baker talking about his broken store awning, but the baker was not able to fix it alone. The two mice thought it would be great to see if the baker and the homeless man could work together. As they finished their lunch, the two mice worked on their plan to make a difference. They wrote 2 notes. The first note they left by the baker's cash register, telling him of the man looking for work. The second note they wrote for the homeless man, encouraging him to visit the baker. The 2 mice left that note with the muffin by the sign sitting next to the homeless man without him noticing. Then they went back to the bakery to enjoy the rest of the afternoon. After a full day of fun, the 2 friends hugged each other goodbye, and Mountain Mouse got ready to head back home. As they stepped outside, they heard talking from in front of the bakery. They walked to where they could see what was happening. The 2 mice looked up to see the bakery awning was fixed, and and the baker was handing a bag of baked goods to the homeless man. As the two men shook hands and thanked each other, the two mice just smiled and gave each other another hug. Mountain Mouse returned home from her busy day in town as the sun set over the mountains. She paused on her porch and thought about her day. Yes, it was possible for one tiny mouse to make a difference. Today had been a good day. Mountain Mouse was looking forward to more days and more adventures where she could make a difference. The end. So what did you think about today's book? Did you learn anything today? I thought it was wonderful how Mountain Mouse and her friends were able to make a difference, to help other people. You should always think of how you can be a help to other people and make a difference in your neighborhood. I hope you enjoyed today's book. I want to say a great big thank you to Caryl, Lynne, Honea for this wonderful book about making a difference.